Welcome. Today's lesson is on creating a Google form in order to make a survey. And so I'm really excited to share this with you today because it's one of the best hidden secrets that's free. All you need is a Gmail account. And if you don't have one, you can sign up literally in like 30 seconds and no charge. So make sure you do that. If you don't have a Gmail account, pause the video and go grab yourself one. If you have one, you're ready to go. All right, let's get started. The best part about this is you're actually going to be taking the survey that we create together right now. Let's go. As you can tell, I'm already signed into Google. I'm going to go to the waffle icon, which is the 3x3 square you see here. And I'm going to search for forms. You may have to click this button more to find forms, especially if you've never created one before. Now once you open the forms, you can see that I've already created several in the recent forms, and that's a great way to get to your ones you've created recently. But I'm going to go ahead and start a new form. And we're going to take a look around. In the top right, you're going to see different icons for jazzing up your form a little bit and different tools that you'll be using. On this sidebar, we will be using this to actually create the form where you can add more questions and add more images as you go. So let's start with decorating. We're going to click on this little color palette, and you can choose a solid color, or you can choose any of the designs, and you can see on the left there's plenty of choices to get exactly what you need, including uploading your own photos. But I'm going to go ahead and click on this work and school theme so that it kind of makes sense to the form I'm creating for our actual course. So what I'm showing you is how I'm going to create the form that you're actually going to take within this course. As we scroll down, you can see lots of different options to choose from. Again, you can also use your own image. So if you want to use your own business stationery that you have, you're welcome to do that so that it matches your branding. But I'm going to go ahead and click this one because it kind of looks like education, and since we're building the course, that seems appropriate. Now here you'll want to title your form. And you can, I suggest titling it to something that makes complete sense. Your viewers will see what you title the form. All right, you can also place a description here so that your students will know what it is that the form is about. Now, for this very first part, I'm going to go ahead and add a basic type of question. Now I've already created my questions elsewhere, so basically I just have to paste over from a Word document. But here I'm putting my first question, and now we have some options. So I'm going to choose to make this a linear scale because I want you to rate the questions in terms of what is your experience, whether it be no experience to being an expert. So by doing this, and I'm going to click on the button require, you would have to complete the question in order to go to the next one. So now I'm going to put in my second question, what is your experience building content for online lessons? And I'm going to go ahead and again choose linear form or linear scale. Because I chose not to duplicate it, actually I chose to go ahead and add another question. So the little plus bar off to the right is how you add an additional question. You can see that it's automatically saving my changes as I go. So this is great. When you click on the form to name it, if you click once, you're automatically going to copy the name of the survey. Of course, you can change it to whatever name you like. Now I'm adding an additional question by clicking on the plus key. And I'm going to go ahead and paste in my next question. And now I want to choose something a little bit different because I'm choosing to rate this question. When you rate a question, you can see all these different choices, multiple choice, check boxes. To rate a question, you're going to want to choose multiple choice grid. And when you do that, in the very first row, you're going to put what it is that you want your students to rate, like having enough content. And then off to the right, you're going to put your different choices for the columns. Then you'll put your second consideration, and mine is ensuring my content meets the objectives of the course. And then the third one I'm using is organizing my content, and I'm just going to kind of make this a little bit smaller so it's a little more friendly to read. But don't worry, it will wrap the text. So if your row is quite long or your statement is quite long, that's okay. It'll wrap the text and it'll look great in your survey. So you just keep adding here, and you can add as many rows as you like to fit your needs. So with this question, I'm really trying to figure out what your deepest concerns are from most to least. Then in the column is where I'm going to put the actual criteria. So for example, here I would put most concern or my first concern, whatever it is that you choose to label. So I'm going to go ahead and go most concerned. And then I'm just going to continue along that same spectrum. Somewhat concerned. A little concerned. And no concern. Now you can put these basically any type of form you want as you just want to gather the data. So whatever makes most sense to your questions. Okay, and then again I'm going to require this question to be answered. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and add another question, and I'm going to do the same sort of concept by asking, what do you hope this course teaches you? But now I want a paragraph or a long answer. It doesn't have to be a paragraph, obviously, but I want the person to be able to have a chance to fill in the content. Okay, so if I needed to edit, it's very simple. I can go back up to first, second, third question and edit them just by clicking on the box to activate it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add another question here. So you can see how simple it is. You have lots of choices whether you want to use multiple choice, long answer, short answer, whatever it is that makes the most sense for gathering data from your students. If you need to delete a question, you just click on the garbage can. And if you need to copy or paste a question, you just duplicate it with the little paper symbols. Surveys are a great way to gather formative assessment or early information so that you can make sure you're meeting your students' needs. By finding out what it is that everybody needs from you, you can then begin to modify your curriculum over time to make sure your course is meeting the most needed concerns of your students. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and put in this question, rate the following from the most to the least. I would like to learn more about. So as I put these in here, see, I'm finding out what is it that my customers or my students or my clients need. What is it they're after? I could guess and just create a course based on that. And I do have to start somewhere. But by kind of finding out and surveying them, what do you need from me? What do you want to learn more about? Then I can begin to tailor that class to meet the needs of the majority of my students. Gives me a lot of data and makes my class a powerful one in terms of gathering information. All right, so once I fill this in, again, I don't need to save it because Google is doing that automatically, saving those changes for me. Now I'm not going to go over each button and every single detail because once you start playing with it, you'll get the sense of how to manipulate the form. You can add pictures, you can add graphics, images, whatever it is you want, you're able to do right within Google. It's pretty forgiving, so don't worry about if you've never used it before. I like this survey form better than the one that's built into Thinkific, if that's the class platform you're using. Although I'm a big fan of Thinkific, I just don't like the way the survey works. This I like because I can get in and make the changes, and as soon as I do, they're automatically updated within the classroom, because I'm going to show you in a minute how to link your survey to the actual class. One of my favorite questions to ask my students is what burning questions they have. Because often we just assume what their questions are and we assume we're meeting their needs by answering them. But in all reality, we're going to have quite a variety of proficiency levels among our students. So it's important to find out what they need, because then you can actually supplement to those students and really individualize, which is going to make happy customers, which of course means return customers and those that'll go out and brag about you. All right, I'm going to show you how to add that image. So I just went to the top and I clicked on image, and I can choose any of my own logos, for example, to place into the form if I want. So I could do that, but it doesn't make sense for this particular application. So I'm just showing you how I would upload it. You can also go out and pick an image. Google Images, if you choose one of them, are copyright free. So when you search for those images, they've already been checked out to make sure they're safe and free to use. Okay, so that's how you do that. I'm going to go ahead and delete this by hitting the garbage can. And you see how fast and easy it is to just go ahead and click add the image icon to add a photo. It's very forgiving. I'm going to go ahead and use the word survey, and this one looks pretty good. I might choose it. So basically you just click on it and hit select, and it's going to dump it right into your survey, and then you can choose to move it up. See how easy that is? You just grab onto the top of the form and slide it up where you want it. You can adjust your picture by grabbing the side handles and moving it as needed. Just in case you didn't know, always choose the corners so that it saves the integrity of your image. You can choose to align it in the center, give it a title, whatever it is you want. You can play with that and you'll have yourself a wonderful survey in the end. When you click at the preview image at the top, you'll be able to preview your survey and take a look at, does it make sense? Does it look good? You can actually practice sort of checking the boxes to make sure the form is created the way you want. And you can see here I have a couple typos I'm going to have to go back in and fix. You can see that when students have a long or short answer, they can type it in sort of like an essay. So you can practice with that. It just gives you a good chance to see what your form will look like when your students see it using the preview button. So I recommend doing that and taking it as well. At the bottom, your students will simply hit submit once their survey is completed, and that's going to directly send that to you. So at the top right, I clicked edit, and now I'm back. Now, once students have responded and you click on this response button at the top, you'll see any added responses in that particular area. You can also choose to get email notifications by clicking on that link. And then back to our questions in case we want to edit or modify. Now, to share your form, there are several ways to do it. Basically, I'm going to click on the send button in the top right, and this menu will pop up, and you can choose to send it via email. You can choose a link, or you can choose the HTML if you'd like to embed it into your classroom, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to click the embed link, copy it, and then it's ready to go to my classroom. You can also choose to link directly to it, and it gives you the ability to check this box to shorten the URL as well. So there's a lot of different choices, however you would like to individualize. One of the things I really have to show you is that you must do a little manipulation to your survey. So I'm going to go back in here because I forgot to share that with you. And I'm going to open my drive, and I'm just going to go ahead and open up the survey that I've already created, which is right here. And one of the things you need to do is, once you've gotten your form looking just the way you want it, you've got to open it to the public or make sure that it's accepting those responses. So I'm going to go up here and click More. And when I do, I'm going to choose Preferences. And this is going to ask me, do you want to collect email addresses of those that fill in the form? Now, I like people to have anonymity when they fill in their form. I want them to feel safe and secure. So I don't check that. Now, if you do check it, it will tell the person that it's collecting their email. I leave it off. Questions can be marked as required, which we've already done in the form, and this is not a quiz, but that is a way you can create quizzes, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Okay, the other thing I need to do is I need to go into Settings, so pick the cog looking wheel. Now, I'm not collecting email addresses. Requires sign in, so we're not going to click that because I don't want them to have to sign in to a specific account. I do want to limit it so that they can only respond once, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I guess this actually does require them to sign in so that it recognizes them. But again, they'll have anonymity because I won't know who filled out the form. Now, will you allow them to edit after the submit? If so, go ahead and click that. If not, you can check it off. I like them to be able to edit their responses, but I don't want them to see any of the summary or what other people put. Okay. Now, when you click on presentation, I like to show the progress bar, and basically this just puts a little bit across the top so they could see how many questions, how far they've gotten. If you were giving a quiz, you might want to shuffle the questions, but this isn't a quiz, so we're not using the survey for a quiz. All right, confirmation message. You know, here you can put something individualized. Your responses have been recorded. Thank you for taking the time to complete the survey. Whatever it is you want to say, you can do that. And then this would be if you wanted to make it a quiz, but we're not going to do that right now. Okay, we'll save that for later. And then we're going to click Save. The other thing that's important is when you decide to send or create the link, this is really imperative. So I clicked the Send button. Again, not collecting email addresses. I'm not emailing it. But when I go over here to this embed code, I want to make sure that I click the copy button because you can see it kind of goes off the form. So if you just tried to maybe copy part of that, you're going to miss out on the rest of this code. So you want to click on it and click copy. Okay. Okay, so basically that completes all of the steps to create your survey. So take some time now, and I would like you, as your very first assignment, to take the survey first, and you'll see that right in the classroom for Thinkific on the next link down. Go ahead and click on the survey, and I've actually embedded it right into the lesson so that you can see what that looks like. Make sure you scroll down on the side using the scroll bar, and then when you get done at the bottom, click Submit, and that'll send your results to me. So after you do that, I'd like you to go out and create your own, because everything in this course is about make it and take it. I want you to make it and put it right into your classroom. So sit down, go through the workbook in the very first part and brainstorm what are your questions, what do you want to find out? If you had 5 minutes with your customers and you could talk to them, what would you ask them? So go ahead and take some time to do that. That's your first homework assignment. Yay! And I want to see your survey. So once you have created the survey, first you brainstormed, then you created, I hope you'll share it with me because I want to see it, and maybe I can give you some helpful advice if you're willing. So all you have to do is click on that send, and you can actually send me a link or email it to me so that I can take a look at it, and yay, I'm excited. So thanks, and jump into the survey. All right, talk to you soon.